The windows shattered before the sound arrived. One moment, children were skating on the frozen harbor. The next, a blast so violent it ripped trees from the earth and sent streetcars tumbling like toys. At 9:04 a.m. on December 6, 1917, in the quiet harbor of Halifax, Nova Scotia, the world ended, at least for those close enough to see the Mont Blanc burn. The ship had arrived the night before, heavily laden with explosives, TNT, picric acid, benzol, gun cotton. It was a floating bomb, and everyone in the harbor knew it. But they didn't fear it. They trusted routine, trusted the harbor pilots, trusted the rules. They didn't know that another ship, the Norwegian Emo, was inbound and off course. They didn't know the narrowest part of the harbor would become a bottleneck of miscommunication, pride, and panic. When the two ships spotted each other, it was already too late. Misunderstood signals, sharp turns. The Mont Blanc's hull scraped against the Emo's bow, sending sparks across her deck. The benzol caught fire. The Mont Blanc's crew abandoned ship immediately, screaming warnings as they rowed frantically to shore. But no one listening understood. This was the moment no one would forget. The burning ship drifting slowly toward the city, smoke billowing, drawing curious onlookers from shops, classrooms, and kitchens. Thousands gathered at windows and along the waterfront, eyes fixed on the unfolding spectacle. And then, detonation. The blast obliterated 2 square kilometers of the city. A white-hot shockwave vaporized buildings, hurled rail cars through the air, and sent a wall of water surging into the streets. The pressure crushed lungs. Windows 20 miles away shattered. In Dartmouth, across the bay, entire neighborhoods disappeared. A fragment of the Mont Blanc's anchor, half a ton of iron, landed over 2 miles from the blast site. At the explosion's center, nothing remained. People simply vanished, burned to ash, torn apart, or buried beneath rubble. A mother pushing a pram, a priest walking to morning mass, a schoolroom full of children, all gone in a flash of light and flame. The fires came next. Homes already damaged began to burn. Those who had survived the initial blast now ran through smoke-choked streets, searching for loved ones, dodging flaming wreckage, and screaming names. The hospitals were overwhelmed within minutes, then buried in patients without names, without faces. By the end of the day, over 1,600 were dead. Another 9,000 were injured. Hundreds were left blind. Many children, their faces pressed to glass when the blast came. The morgue overflowed. Entire families were wiped from existence, listed in death records as all perished. Halifax became a city of ghosts. And then came the snow. A blizzard hit the next day, burying the ruins, freezing the wounded, and slowing rescue efforts to a crawl. Survivors dug through drifts and rubble with bare hands. American and Canadian troops arrived days later to find a landscape unrecognizable. A port city reduced to splinters, silence, and steam rising from the ground. It was the largest man-made explosion in history until Hiroshima. Yet few remember it. No enemy bombers, no invading army, just human error, volatile cargo, and a moment of collision in a narrow harbor. The sea went still, the smoke cleared, and Halifax stood in mourning, changed forever. Thank you for listening to Last Post History. Subscribe for more haunting moments that shaped the world, one echo at a time.